Okay, so what would happen if we done a rebuild in the future? Well, I wanted to find out, so I've simulated all the way to 2050 on Football Manager, and I've picked up the worst team in the Premier League, which is Birmingham City Football Club. A team which have just been promoted in real life to the Championship, but here in 2050 are struggling to stay in the top flight of England, and I'm going to look to try and change that. Now, of course, in 2050, no players we currently know are playing football, so it is full regens only, which is going to make this challenge even harder, and it does not end until we win the Premier League. So let's get into it in a futuristic FM24 rebuild. And here we are then on FM24 with Birmingham City finishing down in 17th place. Now, what I have done is simulated on from the #United career, where we won the league and we're one of the best teams in football, simmed on an extra 5 years to be in 2050, and this is where we now are. And Birmingham, well, they've had a few rough years, let's say that. They've been in the Premier League now since 2038. Mostly, they have got relegated 3 times in that time, but seem to bounce back every time. Last season, they come second in the Premier League, promoted, and actually managed to stay up, which is a credit to them, to be fair, because if we look into the season preview, they were predicted 18th place. Millwall 2001 did get relegated, as did Fulham, and I believe the other team was Wolves, who were predicted 11th, but they've only got 32 points, which is an absolute stinker. So Birmingham is the team that we are rebuilding, and this is their current squad. Yeah, I don't recognise anyone either. It's all regens because we're 26 years into the future, which is going to be very interesting. It's going to be quite fun to check through like the managers of other teams and see if there's anyone there that we recognise. But in terms of the star players at this club, we have a Swedish right winger in Hugo Palman. Ashton Whitmore is a striker who looks pretty decent, to be fair to him. And then we've got Jair Herrera as well. I believe Michael Dunlop is the vice-captain of the club. He is indeed a 25-year-old Scottish midfielder who we're going to attempt to rebuild around. In terms of the club captain, we are looking at Jared Ferguson, a 33-year-old striker / central midfielder who's consistent and likes big matches, but he's 33. So probably going to need to move on from Jared at some point. In terms of age, there's not a lot of youth here at the club, which is fun because regens are the way forward for youngsters, surely. They've not done that. They've got Almir Kadricin, who is a young Montenegrin central midfielder, / centre-back, actually, who looks really good. A little bit inconsistent, but he could be decent. There's no other potential at the club whatsoever. Development centre, we've got 3 players in here: Quinton Carnell, Said Mohammed, and Morgan Williams. So not really any potential in there either. And then obviously in terms of the scouting, we don't know anyone because we are in the year 2050. So looking at this players list, I don't know who I'm going to sign. I've got no idea. Is Ivanov good? He's all right, to be fair to him. But he's 35 because it's going to be so annoying that every regen is so old. If you are excited for this challenge and you want to see another challenge similar as well, we're going to potentially take the worst team in England, Botley Village, who the hell are they, into a Premier League winner. Then absolutely smash the comments down below and get me to do this. I need you guys to support this because this video alone took me a couple of days to simulate because each save file is like 700 megabytes. So every single simulation, every single day of simulating took ages. So if you want Botley Village to become the best team in England, smash up the comments and let me know. But anyway, in the year 2050, what does the Premier League look like? Well, Manchester United are champions, so you can tell we are far into the future. Because that ain't happening anytime soon, is it? They have become another dominant side alongside, obviously, the mighty #, and Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea as well, and really there's no one else coming up other than Southampton, who finished second this season, predicted to come 16th as well. So Connor Holland as gaffer has done an unbelievable job. Should we just go through and see if there's any cool managers here? We got Callum Davies, he's one of my best mates actually, as the Plymouth Argyle manager, which is mental. Amika Agu is a Manchester United manager, and I found this very cool actually because I've done some looking into this save already. This guy started as Stevenage manager and has worked his way up the English ranks to the point where he's now managing United and just won the league. Very cool little random story there as well. And there we go. Finally, a player that's a manager. Eric Garcia is the gaffer of Chelsea. Obviously, me as the manager of Birmingham. Adelio Candido, who I believe is Ruben Amorim's assistant in real life at United. He is indeed. Cool to see him as the manager of Aston Villa. West Ham's João Neves as the gaffer. Watford, Kieran Driscoll. Spurs, Sebastian. Oh, he's still about, is he? Sebastian Obens, okay. And obviously Southampton with Super Connor Holland. So interesting to go through some of the managers there that are in the league. The way I'm going to have to do the scouting is by going and just looking for all the best under 21s really, and rebuild this side using the best youngsters we can find, because age is a big issue. And I've decided, tactics-wise, I'm not going to go for what we know now. Let's go to the season preview and have a look what the tactics the best two teams are, because that's what I want to know. So United are using a 4-4-2, and I believe Liverpool are as well. As I've said, I've done some research. The 4-4-2 seems to be the future of football. It's cool how the ages of football has worked, to the point where the best two teams now are using 4-4-2s. United under Agu are using a 4-4-2 with it looks like a deep lying forward, potentially like an inverted winger, an advanced forward, and a decent back four there. So I'm going to go and do something like that with this Birmingham side and make some signings and see if we can turn this team around straight away. Now, the reason that I had the idea to do a Football Manager rebuild in the future is because I have recently started playing MFL. As you may have seen, I've created a second channel, Kempi MFL, to go through my MFL journey. It is a web-free football management game where every single player is effectively a regen, and you can build and buy your own clubs, which I've done. And it got me thinking, I would love to do that on FM, so I simulated 2050, and here we are in an FM rebuild. All inspired by MFL, using regen players to build your squad. I have had so much fun over the last week doing it. If you guys want to get involved too, there is a link at the top of the description. If you use my referral code, and once you spend $25, which you can tick off by buying a club, you will effectively already earn a free player, as I've got a nice little referral code through MFL. So a massive thanks to them for hooking you guys up. The link is down below, and follow with MFL as well, because the journey there is going to be incredible. And subscribe to that channel, because we're going to be loading weekly videos on there, taking you through my MFL journey. Now, this is the tactic that we have cooked up on Football Manager to take us into the next stage. We've taken inspiration from the best team in England, Manchester United. That's fun to say for sure. And we have gone and made a 4-4-2. First up, our brand new striker, Lee Beddoes, is a 22-year-old signed from Coventry. Good finishing composure and decent speed. Ashton Whitehorn, we saw earlier on, is going to play as our deep lying forward, linking up the play. We're then an inverted winger on attack on the right and a winger on attack on the left, with a ball winner and box-to-box in the midfield. Wing backs on attack on either wing, ball playing defenders in defence, and sweeper keeper on support. A 4-4-2. Who'd have known football have gone back to being 4-4-2 meta? And in terms of transfers, you can see I've been quite busy. Now, the top two here, Nicolas Zabala and Alejandro Delgado, were done before me arriving at the club, already pre-agreed, because I would never spend £44 million on an Argentinian left-back that looks completely average. So thank you, Birmingham board. That screwed us up financially straight away. So really, really helpful. Moving on from that, we have the free agent deal of Martin Lopez coming in from Napoli, a 23-year-old Uruguayan centre-back. Alex McConaughey is the goalkeeper that I have signed, £17.5 million. Great determination, area reach, and jumping reach, and looks like a top-tier goalkeeper at 25 years of age. Simon Bernal is a Costa Rican striker, I believe, maybe Chilean. Head's gone there. With good dribbling, determination, and speed as a rotation option at 19 years of age. Obviously, Lee Beddoes coming in at 21 as a young striker from Coventry. Dejan Ilic is a Serbian central midfielder signed from Crvena Zvezda, and he is inconsistent but very good. And I'm hoping that inconsistency we can train out of him. He cost us just £5.5 million. Oliver Jensen is my left winger signing coming in from Copenhagen, and our right back signing is Zafiki Wakasno. He is an Indonesian right back, and he looks absolutely fantastic. So a big summer of incomings, but also a big summer of outgoings. I have cleared out a bunch of the old players because I don't need them. £140 million has been raised. And of course, that gets us to this team, which we have just seen. Now, in terms of our star players, two of them are here from the very start. It's Danny Crowley at the left wing. And as we said, vice captain Michael Dunlop, who makes up the midfield next to Jair Herrera. We have kept Ferguson at the club for now as club captain. I don't want to come in as a new manager and take that away from him straight away. So we're going to be keeping him around for now. And that is the rebuild done for this team. Now, in terms of the season preview, it is still 18th place, which is a little bit ropey to be behind Norwich and Bournemouth, who have both just been promoted, but at least we're better than Oxford United. Manchester United are tipped to win the league once again, and Liverpool in second place. Manchester City holding on in third place. They're playing a 4-2-3-1, being all, they've not really got on from the Pep stage. Newcastle in the 4-4-2 as well. Spurs in a 4-3-3. And last one we'll check is Chelsea in a 4-3-3. Actually, we'll check hashtag as well, because they're playing a 4-3-3. Let's have a quick look at hashtag. Is there any players in here that we recognise from our time there? If we go, we are now like 5 years on from that now. Wies Hendricks still there in midfield, which is cool. Andrei Zhukov, I actually looked, has become a £124 million player. And we got him for free, remember, from Metalist in Ukraine. If you guys haven't watched the video where I show you how to scout in the future, and they're the methods that I'm using in this video, that video is going to be hopefully put up there. But if not, check out the channel. Very similar thumbnail. Futuristic scouting. Trust me, it's incredible, and I'm going to show that off in today's rebuild. But let's see how this 4-4-2 does with Birmingham in our first season in a futuristic rebuild. Now, first of all, it looks like my talent identification for signing a striker was a little bit rubbish. I locked in Lee Baddows to be a striker because I thought it was going to be great. He scored 12 goals in 36, and it's not exactly what we're looking for. So I went and signed someone and loaned them back out to their parent club, who I think is the next big striker. His name is Ian Lorsil and has come in from Tondela from Portugal. He cost me just £17 million, has gone to the top tier of the Portuguese game, scored 19 goals and 6 assists. He looks absolutely insane and will be coming in this season to absolutely dominate. The improvement from last season was certainly there as we gained 7 points up to 41. But it wasn't quite enough for me to really believe that we were on the right tracks. Interestingly, Southampton, after finishing second, finished down in 17th place, which is a crazy fall from grace. We are just one position away from overtaking the mighty hashtag United. That's a cheeky little goal in this rebuild. But Manchester United are becoming the dominating side in England once again. I'm secretly very, very happy about that. One thing I also want to try and do is get Birmingham to be the biggest club in the Midlands. So I believe we've got Wolves and Aston Villa, who I can't see either of them. Oh, there they are. Aston Villa are currently sitting in 12th place. Once we overtake them, we'll be the biggest club in the Midlands once again. So come on, the mighty Birmingham. That should be very fun once we get there. Now, the 4-4-2 wasn't a bad system for sure. I mean, our right winger as the inverted winger, Hugo Palleman, grabbed 20 goal contributions. But I do think we just kind of lacked in our striking and chance creation ability. Jared Ferguson, as a 34-year-old, scored 7. Abel Barrera, who is another striker we've got here at the club, who could also play left wing back, left wing and right wing. So frustrating he can't play left mid. I'm going to have to train him to do that. It's just ridiculous because it will take about a year to do so, but is what it is. He's a very fast, young Spanish striker. Danny Crowley at 30 years of age, 19 goal contributions. So age is a little bit of an issue because even Hugo, who is 27, is getting on a bit. Abel Barrera, I said, was young. He's also 27. Jared, 34. Danny Crowley, 30. Abjer Herrera, one of our best midfielders, is 32. I don't think I realised the age crisis we are currently going through. There is a lot of players here which are not good enough and are simply too old. So we have got to replace them quickly. Now, obviously, because this is a club that I've had no dealings with whatsoever, interesting to see the financial situation at the club. There is currently no debt and only a little bit of transfer debt, but it looks like we're losing a crazy amount of money every single season. I wonder if our wage bill was much higher than the rest in England, because obviously not the rest, but no, about 15th, 180 million, which is so much. I believe when we won with hashtag, we're at about 40 million, which is crazy that we're just about doing this with 118. Again, showing the scouted methods we use in that video and, the methods we're using in this video, we can sign young players on such low budgets and win the league. Showing that triple the budget right now, taking over the Birmingham side, we're just about matching up where our wages go. So that's pretty interesting to see. I'm quite good at scouting on this game. I'll give myself some credit. It's the one thing I seem to be able to do. As we are hopefully about to see, because I've gone and spent another £30 million, but on a bunch of youngsters. Number 1 is Keiron, a Brazilian right winger coming in from Flamengo. Number 2, and possibly my favourite, is the £3 million signing of Chilean striker Branco Aliadente coming in from Colo Colo. This guy for me could be an unbelievable deep lying forward. If we check out his stats in this position in particular, 16 passing, 17 technique, great flair, not the quickest. So being able to drop into that hole and link up play, I think he could be absolutely brilliant. Gordon Moffat is up next, a Scottish midfielder signed from Liverpool. And finally, Oscar Asprilla, a 21-year-old Colombian left-back with 20 determination and outrageous speed, signed from Atletico Bucaramanga, coming in from Colombia for just £1.2 million. Which leaves us with this current side. We have got a brand new front two in Luz and Aliadente. Palman, Crowley, Dunlop and Moffat make up the midfield. Wikaxo, Sanogo, Kadric, Asprilla and McConaughey make up the defence. Don't worry if you saw that Ian Lusil was out on loan. His loan finishes in 2 days. Very weird loan deal to the 24th of July 2051. How random is that? I've got absolutely no idea why it's done an extra year. I must have clicked 12 months rather than end of season, which is weird. But he is coming in and I believe he's going to be an absolute superstar. And while it took him some time to get used to playing in this Birmingham system and get some consistent minutes, when he eventually did, he was incredible. And it wasn't just him, because our new young Brazilian right winger, Keiron, was the exact same. Didn't play too many games, but when he eventually settled in, he was fantastic. Lusil only started 12, had 23 off the bench, but scored 12 goals, 11 goals in 11 starts in the Prem. While Keiron scored 3, got 1 assist in 8 starts and no games off the bench. Not too bad, considering he's a young 20-year-old. I'm excited to see this guy's future potential. It only says 4-star, he's a little bit inconsistent, but being able to put the ball in the back of the net is something we needed this season. Abel Barrera played a bunch of games up front, scoring 18 goals, but other than that, it was Ian Lusil and Branco Aliadante. Aliadante with 25 goal contributions was perfect for exactly what I said. As that deep lying forward, he had the passing, the technique, the flair, the link-up ability, and he absolutely thrived. And thanks to our brand new strike partnership and from goals from elsewhere, that led us to 10th place in the Premier League, which is a massive, massive improvement. In just 2 seasons, we've gone up 14 points from one of the worst teams in the league to now being mid-table and really on the edge of pushing for Europe. There is quite a big points gap between us, Aston Villa, Everton and Newcastle, but once we close that down, I firmly believe there is a strong chance that we can become a consistent European side, because we are changing the way this club works. There was no one under the age of 20 in this side other than Amir Kadric, who has been given consistent first team football. Now there's at least 15 players that are of high potential and young, and we've got rid of a lot of the older players with some still to go, but it turned a massive change around in the way the club works and the whole club philosophy. So to have improved over 2 seasons while clearing out club leaders and absolute icons of the team, it's time for a new age. It's time for a new dawn. I feel like Tom Brady coming into Birmingham. I'm making a stand and I'm turning things around. So I've just made 2 signings and I'm going to blood through some more of that youth. Number 1 is Matias Acosta, an Argentinian 20-year-old centre-back. And number 2 is Portuguese central midfielder Antonio Moreira, who has 20 determination, elite consistency, 16 finishing, which is going to help massively in this box-to-box midfielder role, and is 6'3", adding in some much needed youth, height, and finishing ability. And in my opinion, this is by far the strongest team we have had yet. McConaughey in goal has been a very good signing from the day he joined from Newcastle. Wicanso and Zabala as the 2 wingbacks, Kadric and Sanogo at centre-back, Palman, Barrera, Dunlop, Monteiro with Losley and Aliadante up front leading the line. This season, I demand European football. And well, there was some simply fantastic results this season, and most of it was down to the strike partnership, but mainly Mr. Ian Lusil. He was incredible, as we are going to see in this game against Tottenham Hotspur away from home. He grabs the first. You never guess what. He grabs the second. The first one, a nice left-footed dainty finish. The second one, a header. And the third one, a penalty with his right foot. So that makes a perfect hat-trick, I believe, for Mr. Ian. A lovely 3-0 victory over Spurs. And it was results like that that managed to get us into European football for season number 4. Thank God we have done that, because it's the Conference League that we are in, and we can tick off winning a European trophy in this rebuild. If we don't, I'll be absolutely flabbergasted. The Conference League, at this point, should be an absolute walk in the park, I'll be completely honest. I'm very interested to see who's winning it at the moment. I mean, the final was played between Everton and Servette, and if we look back on previous, actually, it's a very difficult conversation. Real Madrid. Birmingham won it back in 2047 before I was gaffer, so it would be good to get a second one of them potentially. And also Chelsea. So, yeah, actually the Conference League may have got harder now we are further into the future. We'll have to see if we try and win that this season. But as I mentioned, Ian Losley this season was absolutely fantastic. The 23-year-old Swiss striker now had a value of over £111 million. He had 19 determination, finishing, composure, physical stats were elite. And if you guys want to play with this team and any of these players in this team, the rebuild file for this save, as well as the 4-4-2 tactic, which I've got to say is pretty decent, is going to be included on the Patreon down below. You'll be able to help out, support me and the channel, and then we're looking to make 20k subscribers by FM26 on YouTube. So you can sign up to the Patreon, help me out over there, and subscribe to the channel. You do two things for the price of one and help me out so much as we look to get set for a massive 2026. And well, Ian actually wasn't the best performer at the club because new club captain Michael Dunlop was doing bits. The Scotsman in midfield was the steely character we needed, standing at 6'1" with his good defensive attributes and top tier mentals with 18 leadership. He was fantastic. Tyrese Dadson was in third place. Adnan Jupic as the rotational goalkeeper actually played 20 games due to an injury and was very good. And a young player I signed a few seasons ago, the same that I'd done with Ian Losley, loaned him back out to his parent club, played a few games this season. Ode Baug Krovenkag, very difficult name. A Norwegian centre-back done well when he played. And Branko Aliadante as well, 19 goal contributions, very good. And new 5-star wonder kid Antonio Montero, 9 goal contributions in 41 games as a 20-year-old. Pretty good. Same for Acosta, 47 games, a 6.92. So some massive improvements to the side. And we were right to start trusting the youth. But remember, this video does not end until we win the Premier League. So we've got some serious making up to do. So we made 3 signings and 3 fantastic ones. Number 1 was Nikola Pavlovic, a Serbian right winger coming from Partizan, already 4-star ability and 5-star potential ability. A value of 100 million. We must have spent a lot on him. No, £5.5 million. I mean, unbelievable what you can find in the future on FM. It is so fun playing in the future. I've kind of wanted to do this for quite a while. And then, like I said, ever since playing MFL and seeing, you know, being attached to fake regen players, I was like, I love playing with regens. So let's do a futuristic rebuild. And as I mentioned again at the start of the video, if you want to see me do this with more clubs, let me know who and when down in the comments down below. Now, he wasn't my only big signing this summer because I've also signed Chiang Hyun Kien from Cadiz in Spain, who is incredible. He is a South Korean striker with elite consistency and love for big matches, but very similar to Ali Adente, is an unreal deep lying forward. First touch, passing, technique, flair, determination, composure, finishing, all elite, but he's slow. So he can drop in and link up play. He really looks like a Dimitar Berbatov kind of player. Really consistent, really good in big matches, and a great finisher with elite ball playing ability. And finally, it's right back Jorge Trevino coming in to be a rotational player. He's got great speed, determination, and very decent defensive stats. So even after last season's fantastic performance, Ali Adente is actually going to drop to the bench and rotate in with Chung Hyun Kyun and Ian Losley. I've got no idea of them 3 who is going to be the best. I've got a feeling Ian is still going to be the best, but Chung Hyun Kyun, I think he's going to be such an important player for this team. And Pavlovic off that right wing as well was very much of a playmaker build. Unreal vision, technique, first touch, real ball playing ability. He's not the greatest winger in the world, but as this inverted winger on attack, drifting into these roles, linking up with Chung Hyun Kyun, I think he could be absolutely incredible, and I'm so excited to see how this team goes. Of course, we're in the Conference League, FA Cup, Carabao Cup, and Premier League this season, and it'll be great to tick off our first trophy in Season 4. And I tell you what, we wanted to battle for top goal scorer, and that is exactly what we've got. Chung Hyun Kyun scored 15 goals, started 33 games, only scored 7 in the Premier League. Ian Losley, on the other hand, played 29 games in the Premier League, only scored 13 goals, but got 24 overall. But it was Branko Aliadante, which was actually the top goal scorer at the club, despite only starting 21 goals. 28 games overall, 11 assists. He's like a Chicharito style player at this point. unbelievable off the bench, and thrives in the Europa Conference League. I mean, of course, it's a competition we wanted to do very well in, and it's a competition we did do very well in. This was the semi-final games against Bodo Glimt, and it was a 3-2 victory on aggregate after a 2-0 victory at home, which sent us into the final against Trabzonspor, and Chung Hyuk Kyun scored the goal in the semi-finals and then scored a brace in this one to give us an overall 2-1 victory against the Turkish side, showing that it wasn't just Branko Aliadante that was doing bits in Europe, it was actually the whole front three, and we had secured our first trophy of the rebuild, winning the Europa Conference League. And thanks to that, it meant we had our best points tally yet in terms of the league, finishing on 57, finishing in 7th place. 1 point behind Aston Villa, who are becoming a thorn in our side to become the biggest club in the Midlands, which is very, very frustrating. It looks like Wolves, though, have stayed down in League. Oh, they've come up, haven't they? But say have stayed down in the Championship, but eventually they did get promoted. Absolutely fine, not my issue. It looks like Liverpool have won the Premier League this season, and a lot of that is down to their striker, Maxim Harvilenko, who is an absolute joke. 202 goals in the Premier League in 301 games, 6'2", 19 pace, 20 agility, outrageous finishing, off the ball works insane. 41 goals in 36 games in the Premier League, and then didn't score in 9 in the Champions League. This guy's an absolute freak of nature and is absolutely incredible. And again, another reason why I love playing FM in the future, because the regens just become absolutely insane. The other thing that I done this season was lock in Abel Barrera to learn that left midfield position, and he played every single game there and got 28 goal contributions. I knew he'd be a top tier left winger. I didn't quite think he'd be this good, but he was absolutely insane. The only issue is he is now 30 and might not be as good after the next couple of seasons. And really, that was kind of the fact for actually quite a few players in this team. Nicolas Zabala, who's been great at left back since the start, despite me telling Birmingham they were wrong to signing him, has actually been brilliant. Hugo Palman is 30, but he's been a great rotational player for us. Captain Michael Dunlop at 29, probably has a year or two left in him. Alex Corrigan in goal at 29. Potentially someone to cash in on. Wikaxo, one of my first signings here at the club with 13 assists this season, is now 28. And even some of my signings now are like 26 years of age. We're already going into the 5th season in this rebuild, which is crazy, because some of the players we signed at the start of the rebuild, which are going to be great players throughout the rebuild, and they have been, such as Wikaxo, the Indonesian right back. But it's already a point where it's looking at almost replacing him. He's 28 years of age. And we know in FM, once a player goes over 19, they're basically pointless. So, I mean, we're playing with a bunch of granddads here. But the thing is, since I come in as manager, I have spent a lot of money. And not being in European football and not having the parachute payments has hurt us quite a lot. In terms of debt, there is now £100 million in the club. The overall balance is negative 73. And I kind of don't know why. I know why, but I also don't know why. Because in terms of transfers, this season was a net zero. The season before that was £3 million. The season before that was £20 million. The season before that was £30 million. So I have spent about £60 million more than we have raised. So it's a net 60. And financially, we were on, when I joined, 90 million? 73 million. We've lost £250 million looking into the positives, the overall balance, and the net debt. 250 million. Having a football club in 2050 is not a sustainable marketing strategy to anyone out there potentially looking to invest in football. Don't do it in 2050. It is a complete and utter money sink. And it did actually hamper us in the market a bit. We actually had to sell to buy. We sold a bunch of our former star players and raised over £60 million. But I think we replaced them quite well. Number one was another striker coming in to be the 4th choice / 3rd choice option, is a £35 million signing of Tyrese Charlton. Something I noticed, we didn't have a lot of homegrown players at the club, so getting in a good 23-year-old striker with elite finishing, determination and pace was high up on my list. Next up was the goalkeeper position, and I thought it needed dramatically improving, so I signed Martin Just. He's just about better than Alex McCorrigan, Sorry for that. That's a disgusting joke from me. But he's very good. He's good in big matches, great determination, and unbelievable saving stats. And my final signing is Angelo Russo, a 23-year-old Italian centre-back with great speed, good height, and good defensive stats. So this is the Birmingham team going into season number 5. And I've got to say, I think we have worked wonders. Considering this team was 17th place, yo-yoing between relegation and promotion, we have managed to build a really, really strong side, having a net spend of about £80 million over 5 seasons and dramatically improving the youthfulness of the squad. We have a few players above 30, but now a bunch of players with crazy high potential. I've not touched on this guy just yet either, Paulo Cespedes. I signed him a few seasons ago from Cesar Vallejo in Peru. He's been in the under-21s. I've brought him up. He cost me 575k. Look at his potential while being elite in consistency. So hopefully we see some bits out of him this year as well. But just in terms of potential of this club, we have done so well. Even one through the academy in Ashley Williams is a young midfielder with 20 determination. The club info-wise, the Birmingham infrastructure is really good. 5-star youth recruitment, elite youth facilities and training facilities. As I mentioned, this save file will be available for you legends on Patreon. If you want to do like a youth to gold save in the future, this is the perfect one, and I want to see how you guys do. If you guys pick this up, let me know how well you do with these insane facilities. But this season, I think we can take massive strides towards lifting a Premier League title. I would like to get top 4 this season and prove to the rest of the teams in England that Birmingham were not here for a flash-in-the-pan European showing. We were actually here to attempt to lift the title. Now, first up, let's talk about the Europa League, where we finished down in 7th place, but in the top 8. So we'll be moving straight on to the round of 16. Interestingly, Middlesbrough topped it, 7 wins and 1 loss. Fair play. Villa also in 3rd place, and Birmingham in 7th. Looks like Northern England is doing bits in terms of our European showings. In the round of 16, over 2 legs, we beat Rennes 7-3, which sounds like a huge margin. But considering the run we're about to go on, yeah, it's not. At St Andrews, we stuck 8 goals past Genoa in the home game and won the tie 9-2 on aggregate. Weirdly enough, we lost the first leg 2-1. How we then beat them 8-0, I've got no idea. And then we have an even bigger victory margin, and it is something that I simply cannot explain. I did not think that after an 8-0 we'd be moving on to have a bigger victory, but after 20 minutes, Chung Hyuk-kyun had scored 2 already against Shakhtar. This is the first leg. The second leg was a 3-1 victory, for reference. Chung Hyuk-kyun had grabbed a 22-minute hat-trick in this game. And as that deep lying forward was just insane, linking up play, driving down the wings and finding Tyrese Charlton in the box to make it 4-0. In the 30th minute, Barrera whipped it in, drops to Pavlovic, who this season, by the way, was insane. And Charlton scored again to make it 5-0. Monteiro then whipped it out wide to Barrera, back to Pedrita, back to Barrera, and Charlton was there to be the second player in this game to grab a hat-trick, and it's still the first half. Pedrita then finds Barrera down the wing, whips it in. Ian was there. How does 7-0 sound in 35 minutes? It's mental. Wikaxano then down the right-hand side, whips it in. It comes out to Barrera. Guess what? 8-0 in the first half. And why not? In the 80th minute, let's grab a 9th for a 9-0 win in the first leg in the semi-final of the Europa League. And in the final, we were facing up against an Atletico Madrid side playing a 5-3-2 system, which was extremely negative. So do you reckon they can keep out the goals of Birmingham? Because I don't think they can. And to be honest, this game was absolutely insane. I'm not guaranteeing we win this because it was actually a ding-dong battle. We scored to make it 1-0 earlier on, but straight away Atletico Madrid came back at us and scored thanks to a goal from Maragara from the edge of the box. We did grab the lead back with a 2-1. It wasn't actually a goal we scored. It was a goal tapped in by the Atletico Madrid centre-back. He must have got the 50 million I transferred him earlier on in the day. In the 37th minute, though, we looked to make it a 3-1 lead. A ridiculous ball from Milic through to Montero. Done that, and then the Atletico Madrid manager must have paid my centre-back 50 million because we go and get an own goal. Good job, Acosta, for sticking it in the back of the net. Still, though, we were up 3-2 and we wanted to make it 4. Pedrita found Barrera down the line, pulled it back, and eventually finished off by that man again, Chung Hyuk-kyun. For 5-2, Hindley whips it down the line, Run got on the ball, set it back, and who was there? Chun Hyung-kyun. Absolutely insane season. They scored the final kick of the game, a Panenka penalty, which is straight disrespect. But we disrespected them and beat them 5-3 in the Europa League final. So it's back-to-back European trophies. And this man has just developed into an insane striker, but also central midfielder. He has had the ability to play as a deep-flying playmaker in this role as well. And looking at his stats, I'm not surprised. 40 goal contributions this season in 42 games. This could be one of my favourite ever signings. And believe it or not, he wasn't top of the goal contributions. Ian Losley grabbed 48, 26 goals and 9 assists in the Premier League alone, which we should probably speak about. Because we started our Premier League campaign in a little bit of ropey form. We beat #, lost to Spurs and lost to United, but beat Watford. And then won a pretty insane 3-month win, including a 6-5 against Leicester, 4-1 against Arsenal, and a 4-2 against Aston Villa. We finally lost to Everton, who were challenging for us for the title, but in the rest of the month of December, we went unbeaten. Before January, we lost 2 against Watford and Spurs. The clubs from London were trying to stop the Midlands domination. But sadly for them, they just couldn't. After that loss against Watford, we beat Southampton, beat Sheffield United, beat Leicester 6-1, drew to Chelsea, beat Newcastle, Arsenal, Aston Villa, City, Everton, Plymouth, Bournemouth, Bristol, Wolves, and West Ham on an insane unbeaten run until the end of the season. Not only have Aston Villa been predicted to come 7th but got relegated, Birmingham have won the Premier League on 91 points, just a point clear of Manchester United in an absolutely insane Premier League season. I was looking for top 4 this season. Seems like we have managed to have everything click and the team has gone into complete and utter insane mode. The tactic, the 4-4-2, just worked. Pavlovic this season, I mentioned, was insane. He grabbed 32 goal contributions from that right wing position. Losley with a bunch of goals. Tyrese Charlton, the new signing, 17 goals and 6 assists. And checking out the average ratings wise, Ian Losley, a 7.35, Chung Hyuk-kyun, a 7.25, Pavlovic, a 7.21, Wikasano, a 7.17, Acosta, a 7.1, Charlton, a 7.8, Russo, a 7.02, Monteiro, a 7.02, and Barrera, a 7 average rating with 26 goal contributions as the left wing. An absolutely insane season. And that is it. We have rebuilt Birmingham to be Premier League winners in 5 seasons. In the future, showing I am the master of scouting in the future. And if you guys want to see more of these rebuilds, let me know in the comments down below. Who, where, what divisions, what teams, and I'll get simulating and rebuilding a team from wherever you want into the best team in the world. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to smash the like button, and I'll speak to you next time.